I believe on the bottom of every car in the fine print area, it will say that sale price may not be price of the car when sold. Currently, right now, there is an addendum sticker on the car showing it is subject to pricing, subject to rebates, plus a market adjustment of currently $100,000.
Oh, wow. Wow. So does that feel weird to you? I mean, you go to work every day. You don't own the dealership, but you go to work every day. Does this feel okay to you to do? I mean, I see the fine print and it's very vague what they said. It says MSRP. You guys didn't list it as MSRP. So bottom line is you want 100 grand more for the car. It's not what you guys are asking on the website. So can I rely on any price you guys have on your website to be real?
Well, here we go, Zach. Just the perfect example of why the FTC wants to implement their cars rules and regulations. An example where a dealer advertises a vehicle at a certain price, says nothing about addendums or additional dealer markups, and a customer calls and wants to buy it, and they can't. They can't because, well, there's an additional $100,000 on top of that price. This is what's wrong with car dealerships today.
Go watch that video. We'll put it in the top of the description down below. OCMotivator, kudos to you getting consent to record that call and documenting what happened there. Yeah, Dad, this is a perfect example. So we've got a Dodge dealer in Illinois, a Dodge dealer that at times in the past has had a run-in with the FTC, but a Dodge dealer in Illinois, Pops, that's trying to sell a 2023 Dodge Charger King Daytona. King Dayton, excuse me. No, King Daytona. They have a typo on their own damn listing. And Dad, they're trying to charge $100,000 over MSRP, which, let's be real, folks, if someone wants to charge $100,000 over MSRP, more power to them. Hopefully no one ever pays it. The thing that they got caught doing here, Dad, is they didn't advertise that. And you have to call and go through all the rigmarole only to learn that they want to double the price of the vehicle. And that video, go watch it down below, that video documents the entire experience, which sucks. It sucks for everyone. It sucks for the customer. It sucks for the staff. No one wins in that circumstance.
As a matter of fact, that poor sales manager, I mean, if you have to rationalize the irrational, if you have to defend the indefensible, then you and the staff that works with you have to say to yourselves, is this the type of dealership that I want to be associated with? It is not the owner of the dealership that is going to take the brunt of the customer anger. It is you. You become the face of the dealership. The salespeople become the face of the dealership. You become the most hated person in that area. Is that really, as an employee, where you want to be?
You know, it was interesting, Dad, as you watch the video, and we'll put some of the clips in our video here, you know, they initially started with the customer saying you have to bid on this car. So there isn't even a price. The price is whatever you want to bid for it. And obviously the customer got pissed off and wanted to talk to a manager once he learned that, but you got to bid on the car. That's such a terrible tactic and antic. I mean, if you want to sell a car at an auction, sell a car at an auction. Last time I checked, Dad, the OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, Dodge, who has, let's be very clear, had to step up a few times already in recent history when dealers have screwed over customers on specialty Dodge vehicles. I'm thinking of that Army vet who had his cars sold out from under him. I'm pretty sure Dodge doesn't allow their dealers to have a auction system to sell their cars. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you could title it as a used car and then go sell it on Cars and Bids or something like that. But you can't auction off a car. I mean, you got to have a price for it.
I think actually, Zach, I think you could. And the way
Really?
and the way you would do it is you would say, we will be accepting bids on this vehicle, and we will open all bids on, pick a date in the future, say Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day Monday. And at that point, we will accept the highest bid that's been placed on that vehicle. Now, if you want to avoid the bidding process and just want to make sure you're the winner, you could buy the car with the $100,000 market adjustment on it.
Now let's be very clear here. Nowhere, and that's what's so well documented in that video, nowhere did this dealer advertise A, that it was a bid car, or
Yes.
B, it has $100,000 additional dealer markup. And honestly, Dad, it's sad. We get emails all the time of people demonstrating at smaller scales, not $100,000 difference, and not even on specialty vehicles, these types of practices. And you brought it up at the beginning, and I'll bring it back up again now. That's why the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, who has some oversight over car dealers, has proposed their CARS rule, which says that these types of practices are outlawed. Now, unfortunately, that rule has a stay in the Fifth Circuit Court in the state of Texas. The National Automobile Dealers Association is blocking that rule from going into effect, stating that it would actually slow down the car buying process and make it less friendly for consumers. I don't know about you, man. That feels, in my opinion, like a lot of BS, because we see videos like this going viral on the internet, and we see thousands of stories from our community members annually demonstrating their quarrels and frustrations. Quarrels? I don't know. They're qualms and frustrations trying to buy these doggone cars, man. And this video is a perfect example of that. So the FTC is trying to help, but honestly, you shouldn't even need the federal government to do this, Dad. You should just not want to be disingenuous when you're selling cars.
You just advertise what you want for the car. Somebody will either say yes or they will say no. And if they say yes, great, you got it. If they say no, then at a certain point, you reevaluate what you're asking for the car. But it shouldn't be a game. It shouldn't be we're going to advertise a price to get you interested in it that, well, isn't the price at which you can buy it. That's why we need the FTC regulations. And that's why the good operators out there are in favor of the FTC regulations, so that it can put a stop to this nonsense from the handful of dealers that still want to believe it's, I don't know, 1964.
You bring up a good point. How do you stop this from happening? So even if the FTC rules get passed, there has to be enforcement. We've struggled with that. And I encourage everyone out there, before you go buy a car, Google search the dealership name space FTC. See if they've been in the news for getting a fine. I mean, I'm thinking of dealers last year. Many dealers had fines for practices that broke laws. And ultimately they got fined, never admitting guilt, obviously signing agreements stating that they admit to no guilt, but ultimately paid a multi-million-dollar fine. I mean, do your research, but there has to be enforcement here. And I think at the end of the day, voting with your pocketbook, voting with your wallet, those are the best ways that we can. And that's why we have car dealer reviews back on CarEdge.com. We'll put the link to that in the bottom of, or in the top of the description below, the community forum. We need to help one another avoid, in my opinion, avoid dealers who operate in this way, and ultimately work with and try and find the people who we can trust, because this video is a great one. Go watch it, but it is crap, man. Just capital CRAP. It is crap.
The best enforcement, okay, is refusing to do business with dealers like that. That is the best enforcement. And so as a consumer, learn as much as you can about a dealership before you decide whether or not you're willing to do business at that dealership. And if you encounter practices like this, walk away. Walk away. That's the best enforcement.